I'm glad to be back here. I've been attending your meetings, kind of sitting in the back, hearing what's important to all of you over the last few months. And we'll pass around the map here of the precincts, just pass around, Elliot, that are included in Council District 6. So I'll give you the Reader's Digest of my background, because I really want to get to questions, because that's what I'm most interested in hearing what's important to you. I've lived in Washington Park East since 1991. My husband is Charles Leonard. He's a radiation oncologist with Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers. We have a couple of kids. Our daughter Katie Leonard is a sophomore in college in Boston, and my son Adam Leonard is a junior at East High School, and his passion is rugby. We were supposed to play rugby today, but we canceled it, but now it looks like they could play. When I moved here in 1990, I started working down at the state legislature. I did education policy for Legislative Council staff, which is the nonpartisan staff. I staffed the House and Senate education committees. Then I started working for different members of the legislature. I actually ran for the legislature for House District 6 in 2008. I came in second in a three-way Democratic primary to lowest court by about 470 votes, to be exact. So, since then, I've been involved with a lot of nonprofits. I currently serve on the board. I am as president of the board of the East Angel Friends and Alumni Foundation. That's a mouthful, but it is basically the organization that supports East High School and raises close to $200,000 to $250,000 a year to support programs at East High School and support students. So that's what I've been working hard to do. I've also served on a lot of community boards, everything from PTSA president at Steele Elementary and at East High School, to Skyline Acres Swim and Tennis Club, which is in District 6, to other kind of regional boards as well. So the big question that I get when I'm running is, why are you doing this? And there are two answers. One, I'm not crazy, and many people think, they're like, what are you thinking? I love Denver, and I am committed to its success. We are seeing a city that is growing, and we're going to have to make a lot of purposeful decisions from this point forward. And I want to be involved in that process. There are a few, I'll kind of talk about Denver as a whole and highlight a couple issues, then I'll talk a little bit about the district, and then I'll answer your questions. So we know that I've been going to meetings and seminars, I've been down at the Municipal League at different things, and we're talking about how so many people are coming into Denver, and so how will we accommodate those people? And I think it's really important. What we're doing right now is we're focusing on areas of density. We know that people are coming in. And that's presenting some issues. And one of those is an issue that Representative Garnett will be addressing with the younger population, but I think affects really our entire workforce and our seniors, and that's accessible housing. We don't want to price people out of Denver. And so I think it's really important to figure out the partnerships that we're going to need to develop in order to make our housing affordable, both in the rental and in the for sale market. Our inventory is low on for sale. Our rents are high, and there are many things that can be done, public-private partnerships, talking about inclusionary housing areas. It's critical, and it's something we're going to have to address. The second is that with our growth, with our areas of density, we really have fallen behind in terms of our transportation. We're about 5 to 7 years, maybe more behind. I've talked with RTD directors about it. We're going to have to do more in order to move people in and out of the areas of density. So those are a couple issues. There are a lot more Denver-wide issues. I've been exploring a lot of them. Another one is marijuana policy. We can talk a little bit about that as well. So then I've been knocking on doors, as everybody has. I'm coming up, I think, on about 3,000 doors in District 6. And what I'm finding are that there are a couple of issues that are particularly important to people in District 6. One of them is safety. We've had just an increase in some neighborhoods of break-ins. I have to tell you, if you haven't been to a Citizens Advisory Board meeting with Commander Montoya over in District 3, you should go to one. He is the most responsive commander. Everybody loves him, and he's really paying attention to what's happening in the area, and they're addressing it. We've put more officers on duty. I was on duty last night, and that's why I might look a little tired. I finished at 1 o'clock. I did a ride-along with the Denver Police last night. It was a great experience. Saw a man that broke into a bank last night in the middle of the night. It was very interesting. The other big issue that I think we're dealing with is traffic. People are always talking about the arteries going through District 6, that there's a backup in traffic. Some of that we can address with public transportation, but we need to address some other issues as well. One other thing I'd love to see is on East Evans, the East Evans corridor, is to develop a business improvement district. East Evans from about Colorado out to Quebec. There's a great business association that is formed there, and I really think that they're moving toward doing some great stuff. They're doing a cleanup day in May. They've done it in the past. They're engaging their neighborhoods. It's really pretty fantastic. Finally, the most important thing I hear from people is they want good constituent service. And I think that that's a key job of a city council person. When I worked at the state capitol for different members of the legislature, I did a lot of that. Constituent service is absolutely paramount. What I do when I do constituent service is my goal is that at the end of the conversation, the person has less frustration with government than they had at the beginning. And that way I feel like I've accomplished my goal, because I think it's so important to serve the people. I can't solve all the problems, but I can certainly link people to a solution. So those are a few of the issues, and I'd love to hear more about other issues that are important to you. I really think that I have a great skill set for this job. I've worked out at the state capitol. I know policy and government. I've worked with nonprofits. I've worked out in the community, and I value Denver. So I hope you'll take a look at that. I'd be honored to have your support, and we'll now answer some questions.
How do you plan to communicate with your district?
So, that's something that that is really critical, and what I'm finding is that I don't think that our city government is doing as good a job as they could in communicating with neighbors. Certainly email is one way to do that, and to get people on email lists. I think we have the ability to use mail in some ways to notify people of important meetings that are going on. And I think the other thing that's important is to have a presence in the district. Many of you might know or may not know that they're taking away the budget for a council office in your district. I think that's something that I really think it's important to have a presence in the district. Even if you've never set foot in Charlie Brown's office, you see the sign and you know that there is a presence in the district. So I think the other way is to have meetings, regular meetings, and regular times where you will welcome people to come and meet with you. I believe it's about an open door policy and listening to what people have to say. If I learned anything watching people down at the legislature, it's that the most effective lawmakers are the ones that are willing to sit and listen to both sides and not block anybody out, because it's about making good decisions based on all of the information. Mm-hmm.
Just curious, you were a ledge council staffer. You said you also worked for members. Were you an aide?
Yes, you know what? I did that job before there was an aide position available. They created the aide. Probably, at some point, I became officially an aide, but before that, it was just, they actually paid you out of campaign funds to be a personal staff member.
Right.
That was what was legal.
What did you work for?
I worked for Senator Donna Ment. I worked for Senator Louis Entz, and I also did work for Andrew Romanoff. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Brandon.
Yes,
I
Brandon.
introduced myself earlier.
I know, yeah.
It's my first House District meeting. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How do some of your more influential contributors, such as the Greater Glendale Chamber of Commerce and Comcast Financial Agency Corporation, affect your legislative decision making? And will it affect it in any way that is counter to the general public's?
Right. I think we all talk a lot about campaign finance issues. I certainly have worked with a lot of campaigns, and I know raising money, you go, and here's the approach that I've taken. I've decided that it is very important to meet with every single person that I possibly can about my campaign, to learn what the issues are that are important to them. Greater Glendale Chamber of Commerce includes Glendale, which our district surrounds, and includes many business people that are outside the boundaries of Glendale that are also in Denver. And so what does it mean? It means that, just like with everybody, that I will be available and open to listen. Same thing with Comcast. There's a sort of a little bit of a regulatory thing going on between CenturyLink and Comcast right now in terms of internet providing, with their upgrading. To me, money is not paying somebody off. Money is that it is a function of this campaigning, and you have to raise money. And what is important to me is knowing that I will listen to everybody. I have met with business leaders and labor leaders, and neighbors and developers, and other big business people and small business people. I want to be that person that is there with an open door. And honestly, I believe that's the expectation when people contribute this much or this much, depending on their capacity.
All right, that
Is that
winds
it?
up your time.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.